Busy day of college hoops, and it is a big one in the Big East to get the party started. The Creighton Blue Jays, the preseason pick to win the conference. They're in Storrs, Connecticut to take on the 4th-ranked UConn Huskies at Gamble Pavilion. And a pleasant Saturday to everyone at home. I'm Brandon Gaudin. He's Donnie Marshall. This is interesting. I mentioned Creighton preseason favorites to win the league. They struggled, though, but now they're playing better. They've won 3 in a row. UConn was 14-0. Now they've lost 2 straight, so they're trying to pick the pieces.
They're all over the map. Halfway through, and so much has already happened with both teams. One team, I would say, trending one way, and the other just the opposite. But I will say you got to throw the records out. The last couple of games, forget about it. These two teams match up really, really well. Who's going to get stops? Because both teams can score, but who can defend the best? That's the team that's going to win.
And, of course, watching the big men inside, that'll be a big focus in this ball game. Jeep starting lineups. Jeep, there's only one. And those big men, Ryan Kalkbrenner of the Blue Jays and Adama Sanogo, the preseason player of the year in the Big East for the UConn Huskies. Greg McDermott, 13th season, 5-0 against UConn. Creighton has not lost to the Huskies since the Huskies rejoined the Big East. And on the other sideline, Dan Hurley, 5th season as the UConn head coach, and you can just kind of feel the energy right now in Gamble Pavilion.
Yeah, the guys in the studio are so right. Defensively, UConn has to get some stops. You can't just chase guys around and hope they're going to give it back to you. Talking to Greg McDermott before the game, he said, you know, coaches, we're not that smart. We have to get stops at the right time. I know it's simple. Whoever scores more is going to win, but with these two high-powered teams, it's getting stops at the right time. It's not allowing runs to start the game before half. Right when you come out of half, there are 4 times where you really have to slow down the other team, and then towards the end of the game. And it's going to be so important who can establish themselves on the defensive end against these two high-power scoring teams.
Our officials, John Gaffney.
You'll see a lot of trying to get Jordan Hawkins open, and sometimes Jordan Hawkins taking tough shots is better than most guys taking wide open shots.
Averages 15 points a game, makes it 3-0 early. Creighton, what an interesting start to their year. They were ranked number 7th, and they lost 6 games in a row, but now they've won 3 straight, and a big reason. Here's Alexander. He had that huge game Christmas Day against DePaul. Kicks it across to Nimhard. And a rebound at Kaluma, offensive board.
This is where I want Kaluma to score. You got guys scrambling, you do the work. That will be the matchup you look at. Bryce Hopkins had his way with the kicks.
Does Jordan Hawkins, sophomore from just outside of D.C. Shireman cut off and kicks it out top. Sold-out crowd, as it always is here at Gamble. 10,000 on hand. Backdoor to Kaluma. Kaluma collects. Blocking foul. Count the bucket. Sanogo trying to take the... Kalkbrenner, of course, the other great shot blocker, setting the screen here. Nimhard gets downhill and finishes. So quick.
And that's one of the issues I think UConn has had the last few games, is coming from that high post. If Kalkbrenner is allowing him to get down there because he's crashing to the front of the rim, Kaluma has to understand this is one dribble, and I have to let this thing go.
Donovan Klingen, a freshman from Bristol, Connecticut. I mentioned 7'2", 265 pounds. There's Shireman, and the transfer knocks it down. He started his career at South Dakota State, and he's a good one.
Oh, I love his energy. Not a broken record to player, but the extra pass is huge.
Up top. Well, if you can't shoot the 3, lob it up to the big fella, and he's fouled. Nimhard lost it. Picked up, though, by Kaluma. Kaluma thought about it. Caravan right there in his pocket defensively. Shot clock at 2. And somehow Kaluma reverses from Calcaterra. Man, Donnie, we've already had 7 lead changes in this game. Oh. Nice finish from Ryan Nimhard.
Just so cute down there, crafty. Doesn't need to come back to the left. He's going to go underneath the defender's arm. And those are plays that you don't really backside defensively because they have athleticism back there. Kalkbrenner's not going to really beat you in a one-on-one situation like Sanogo. They got to find a way to get him involved more.
Here he hands it off to Shireman. Shireman penetrates, fades. That's his bread and butter.
And there's a great example. Communication has to be so good in transition against UConn because they have so many guys that keep pressure on you on the perimeter and are allowed to just pull up in transition.
Kaluma hoping to quiet the crowd, and he does.
Really does have a nice NBA-ready game. He just has to jump hook falling away outside of the paint. Can't do much better than that.
Sanogo 14 of the 32. Mitchell, open three, and there is the first triple of the game for Creighton.
Much needed. Really good job by Shire.
Kaluma blocks. But they're going to say count it. It's goaltending on Sanogo.
Ready for that level, but they also have asked, is he strong enough? And, you know, if you look back at guys, Ray Allens and Rip Hamiltons and Jeremy Lambs, Rudy, they never really probably gained more than 10, 15 pounds their entire career. So every player can't be built like LeBron James.
Yeah.
And you don't want every player to be built like that. I'm not sure Jordan Hawkins needs that. He needs Andre Jackson comes from. Not quite Superman up and down and vertical or horizontal. It's everywhere.
And there he is affecting the shot, but still Shireman able to shoot it over the top.
It's a nice matchup. I'd like to have
Lincoln near Omaha, where Creighton is located, of course. As a state championship quarterback and all-state basketball player there. And now taking another NBA range three, and that one he knocks down.
We'll allow him to take one or two of those because you know good things are going to happen.
Huskies with the ball out of the timeout. Trying to stop their two-game losing skid. Newton driving, and you don't do that to Kalkbrenner.
You got to draw Kalkbrenner and then drop it off.
On the other end, that's a tough finish for Ryan Nembhard.
Love that. No hesitation.
Alexander to give Creighton the lead. Yes! The Blue Jays back in front.
Beautiful out-of-bounds underplay by Greg McDermott.
Good pass into the corner. Tristan Newton off the side of the iron. Shireman with a rebound. Oh, Newton got his hand on it. But Kalkbrenner able to save a turnover. And Kalkbrenner rim running and throwing it down.
Plenty of time, 4 minutes for Creighton. 2 possessions.
The Huskies will snap their two-game losing skid, and they defeat the Blue Jays 69-60. And the conference preseason player of the year led the way. Sanogo with 26 points and 9 rebounds. And it is the first win in program history for UConn over Creighton, Donnie.
Yeah, it was really a complete game. There was a little lull there for UConn, and Hurley said, listen, you got to show toughness. You got to be tough on the glass. They responded, and that really was the difference for UConn, pounding the glass at both ends of the floor, and Creighton just couldn't keep up, never could get their feet out of the mud.
In the final 13:45 of this game, Creighton shot 3 for 21 from the floor, and UConn gets the victory. Fantastic job by our crew, headed up by Brad Weimer, our producer, Derek Manning, our director. For Donnie Marshall, I'm Brandon Gaudin. We'll send you to Mike Hill in Los Angeles right after this. You're watching Big East Basketball on Fox.